Hi, I'm Dr. Crystal Lee of LA Concierge Psychologist, and I'm going to be talking to you about my adult autism assessments that are available throughout California. So here's some basic information about my assessment process. One, it's therapeutically focused, so unlike traditional neuropsych assessments, I'm not giving you tests per se. I'm really focused on speaking with you, learning about you, and really understanding your experience, your perspective, your internal process. And I've structured the assessment in a way that maximizes therapeutic benefit. I have another video about that if you want to check it out. It's also neurodivergent-affirming, so I'm assuming that you're probably neurodivergent before you even land on my doorstep. So I've structured this process in a way that takes into account a neurodivergent brain, meaning it's pretty structured, there's a lot of detail involved, I'm very transparent, and it's neuroaffirming. I'm not going to be coming into this process with assumptions about stereotypical autism presentation. I really understand that autism can look very differently in people identified female at birth, people who are BIPOC, LGBTQIA people, and gender expansive people. So really taking into consideration a diverse presentation of autism and diverse autism experiences. This is done through teletherapy throughout California. There's no in-person version of this assessment. We typically meet 4 weeks in a row, 45 minutes each session. Sometimes the assessment process lasts a little longer, depending on if I'm assessing for other forms of neurodivergence or you have a fairly complex case or a long history. So sometimes it can take longer than 4 weeks. It's $1,500 for the first 4 sessions, and then if we end up needing additional sessions, it's $375 per each session. And as I mentioned earlier, I do assess for other forms of co-occurring neurodivergence, such as ADHD, OCD, complex PTSD, PTSD. So my assessment process isn't the right fit for everyone, so I do want to be clear about what's a good fit and maybe what's not a great fit. So those who want work or school accommodations generally are a pretty good fit for this process, particularly if your workplace or school doesn't require a written neuropsych report. It's also a good fit for people who want to understand themselves better and understand themselves through a neurodivergent affirming lens. And it's also good for people who want help finding the right therapeutic supports or to assist with treatment planning. My assessment process is not a good fit for anyone who needs a full neuropsych report, like a written report. Also not a great fit for people who are applying for government services like Regional Center or SSGI, and not a good fit for people who need test accommodations. So for example, the SAT, GRE, the bar exam. So if you're interested in pursuing an assessment with me, there are some general steps you'll follow. So first, I would really encourage you to read the full assessment webpage. There's a lot more details about my process there, and it'll give you a better sense if it's actually a good fit for you. So if you decide that it is a good fit for you, go ahead and email me to schedule. You can just shoot me an email at drlee@laconciergepsychologist.com, and it's helpful if you do mention that you read the assessment webpage and it's a good fit for you, just so I know that you have the full information. So then I'm going to send you information about payment and the initial paperwork, which is due to me 48 hours or 2 business days ahead of time of your very first session. And then we'll do the assessment. So we'll meet 4 to 6 weeks weekly. And in our last session, that'll be focused on diagnostic conclusions. And if you'd like, I can provide you with a letter that ends up confirming whatever diagnosis you're given. I know a lot of people are concerned about privacy, so I did want to make a few notes about that. One being, we are working outside of your insurance, so this diagnosis will not be a part of your medical record, generally speaking. Also, no one is going to know that I assessed you unless you disclose that you were assessed by me. I'm not going to talk to anyone about me assessing you. And thirdly, even if someone reached out asking about you or your case, unless you gave me explicit written permission to speak with that person, I'm not going to talk to them about your case at all. If you have any questions about my adult autism assessments, feel free to email me, Or if you want neurodivergent-affirming therapeutic supports, we have 3 other psychologists that work within LA Concierge Psychologists that specialize in adult autism and adult ADHD.